Hey, this is Kris, and I want to share two things with you. First, it's snowing here in Amsterdam, which is amazingly beautiful. I've never seen this before, and I can't wait to get out later and check out what all the houseboats and bridges look like, all covered with snow. And the second thing that I want to share with you is I'm dropping a new ninja video to the channel here, which is from the final session of the recent Conscious Creation course. And this is a really interesting course because on the first week, we started with a humble goal. I allow myself to have $100 or more by releasing only. And by the time the second week came along, the gains started showing up. I got $100, I got $300, I got $5,000. And these kept continuing throughout the whole course. So just in these small gains, collectively as a group, we saw over $50,000 show up. Plus there are some really big gains too. And this shows us that when we start with just the humblest of intentions, it opens the door to seeing even bigger results than what we initially project. So I'm going to share this ninja video with you from the final session. And it's not going to be the whole 2 hours. I'm just putting together some key sections of it that I think are going to be really helpful to you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you find this valuable and you want to be able to participate more, then I'm dropping some links for you to check out below to some of the new classes. I'm doing a 3-day class in Amsterdam in February. This is going to be an advanced releasing class. I'm doing a 9-day retreat in April. And later in February, I'm starting a new 6-week course that's about getting crystal clear on what your true purpose is in life and showing up and living that purpose. So all of these I'm going to be putting below. You can check them out. And in the meantime, check out this ninja video and let me know what you think. Welcome back, everybody. I want to begin by reading some Lester. And I'm just going to share a collection of quotes on the topic of truth. So truth is that which never changes. All else is untrue, illusion, and apparency. So this is something that we can all see for ourselves. That if something changes, it can't possibly be true because either it was not true the moment before it changed, or it changes and it's no longer true. So anything that changes ultimately is not truth. So what doesn't change? Because everything in the world changes. The only thing that doesn't change is us, our beingness. The fact that, like when we go through our life and all the ups and downs, all the highs and lows that we experience, all of that changes moment by moment, day by day, year by year. But the one thing that's constant through all of that is we were there to witness it. Each of those moments, all the good and bad, we were there. So our beingness never changes. And that's the only thing that we can really see that doesn't change at all. So perhaps that's a sign that if we just focus on our beingness, I am only, then we'll find the truth that we're seeking. All right, so I'm going to continue on with Lester here. The greatest thing that we can give is wisdom, because when you give one wisdom, you give not just one single thing, but you give the method of attaining everything.
Truth cannot be taught. It can only be discovered, realized. And that's an important thing to look at, especially being a student, because truth is not something that anybody else can give to you. Not even Lester, Buddha, or Jesus, or any master. They cannot give you the truth. They can talk about it, and you can listen to it and make sense, but it's like what we discussed before. You know, when we're sharing these quotes, these inspirational quotes, they're okay for being inspired, but that only gets you so far. To realize that truth for yourself is something that you have to do. And nobody else can give that to you. You do that. That is super important to really pay attention to and realize. One should never accept anything until he could prove it out for himself. There are two ways to prove things: externally and internally. Externally is proving it in the world by doing it, by demonstrating it. Internally is by seeing it intuitively through the omniscient part of oneself. Now, this is something that we can all focus in on, pay attention to, and realize the veracity of what he's talking about here. This is really important because a lot of times, especially in a course like this, when we're focusing on goals, and whether that goal is to have $1 million or €1 million, or the goal is to fix a sick body, heal it. Now, we may not have realized the truth yet that we can change those external things in the world. But one thing that we have proven to ourselves, every single one of us here, is a lot of this internal proving. We've proven that when we let go, we feel better. When we let go, we get more positive. Our pictures change and we get more intuitive. And when we let go of wanting control, we end up having control. When we let go of wanting safety, we have safety. Our fear drops away. So we've proven that we can let go of these negative feelings. And that makes a significant difference in ourselves. And see, that's a very important thing to really, as we say, we have an expression here, to hang your hat on. And I'm relating this because I've been in this situation myself, where I've had some goals. It seemed like they weren't going my way. And the question came up, well, am I doing the right thing? Should I continue doing this, or should I just forget all of this releasing stuff? Yeah, I've had those thoughts too. But I've always just come back to the simple facts. Well, wait a minute. Every time I release, it's only gotten better. When I let go of wanting, I feel like I have. That I know. That I've proven to myself. So I've proven out that I can be more imperturbable, and that's a good thing. So whether or not I'm getting my results yet in the world, I know that I'm getting results here. And so, you know what? Whether or not I get those results out there, this is a good thing. I'm going to keep on doing it. I'm going to keep releasing just for the goodness of it. And then just see what happens out there. I've always taken on that attitude, and it's always kept me moving down the path. And guess what? Those external results do happen. And that's a matter of proving it out for yourself. But here's a good thing is that you don't have to believe those things. Just focus on what has worked for you, what you've proven for yourself, and build on that. And that's huge. Does everybody resonate with that? Does that make sense? That's very, very powerful. So, and it always keeps us in the right frame of, I only do what I can prove. So we're not being stupid. We're not kidding ourselves, going around acting like, I'm a conscious creator, and I have all of this power inside of me because Lester said so. That doesn't help me. And there's lots of people in the spiritual realm who go around acting that way, and they are kidding themselves. But if you take this approach, it's very practical, and you actually move down the path in a very steady and sure way. So that's good. It's good that this makes sense. So you can relate to this. All right, so continuing on with Lester. There's no problem which cannot be dissolved immediately in the light of truth. And I think that we've all have recognized this, where we just got lost in our mind. And there were problems that seemed like very, very real problems. And then all it took was just a release or a discriminating question that got us to wake up, get in the moment, and see truth. And immediately that problem was revealed as an illusion. So again, there's no problem that cannot be dissolved immediately in the light of truth. All right, now here's something else. Truth can be approached on an intellectual level, emotional level, and intuitive level. And by directing all these three towards truth, truth reveals itself. So again, it's provable. So on an intellectual level, you can discriminate. You can ask discriminating questions like, how does it help me to disapprove of myself? That doesn't solve anything. What do I ever resolve by worrying about things? So that's an intellectual discrimination that opens up the truth. Emotionally, we open up the door, let go of the negativity, and then we feel that light of truth, that lightness that comes in. And intuitively, when we recognize that our intuition is never, ever, ever wrong, ever. And that's always on our side. Now, we can second guess our intuition, ignore it, and go down the wrong way, but inevitably we see our intuition is never wrong. So all three of these we can direct towards truth. And truth is in the realm of feelingness and cannot be expressed in words, but only alluded to by words. And this is also something that we have all experienced when we just have released, like, say we've released on letting go of figuring something out, which led us to letting go of disapproving of ourselves and then giving ourselves approval. And a moment before we were confused, we were spinning around in our mind, but now we just have a feeling like, I don't know what the answer is, but I know I can find that answer. I know I can resolve it. Or we work on our goals, and like in that complete goals process that I did the video on the other week, where we do the exercise on getting imperturbable on both sides, and we do it. I'm okay if I have the goal, I'm okay if I don't have the goal. Now, which do I prefer? What do I decide? And from this point, can I allow myself to have the goal? And in that place, we feel like it's already ours. There's no question about it. And we can't explain it, but there's just a feeling of knowingness. And that's a powerful thing to listen to and pay attention to. And here it is, Les just talking about this. And here's something else that's important. Reason cannot get one to truth, but can get one into the direction of truth. So reasoning this stuff out, rationalizing it in our mind, can be helpful towards directing us in the direction of the truth. The mind itself, that's the reasoning, the mind, can be used to point us in the direction, but it cannot take us there. It's like a signpost pointing to Los Angeles. It's saying Los Angeles is that way. If you're traveling to Los Angeles, you look at the signpost. But see, this is something that Eckhart Tolle has talked about before, these signposts. Now, if you just stood in front of the signpost and stared at the signpost that says, Los Angeles is that way, 300 kilometers, you're not going to actually get to Los Angeles by holding on to the signpost. And that's what a lot of us do with a lot of these inspirational quotes. They're like signposts that point towards the truth. And we kind of get it intellectually, but intellectually is no good. You got to move beyond and take that journey yourself. And finally, I'm going to read one more thing here. Truth can be found by a process of eliminating wrong thoughts, which are thoughts of limitation. When all thoughts of limitation are eliminated, what remains is our natural, unlimited self. And this is good news, because this keeps the process super simple. I only have one job. That is to quiet the thinking. My goal is to quiet the mind completely. And that's what we're doing with the releasing. Every release that we let go, we're quieting that mind that much more until it's quieted completely. And this is a good process to focus on as we're doing our releasing process, because it's something that we can measure. We can just see where we are in this moment. How noisy is my mind? And how much attention and energy am I putting into my mind, consciously and subconsciously? That's something that we can notice. Oh, I'm really validating a lot of these thoughts and I'm allowing them to run. I'm not letting these go, and my mind's noisy. So no wonder I'm not there yet with my goals. So I got to do that one thing. It's going to definitely get me there. Quiet that mind. Nice and easy. All right. So I wanted to share that. And what we're going to take a look at this evening is just some steps to going beyond. And really, we're going to focus on our highest goal. We all have all sorts of goals that we've been working on, very simple goals like the $100 or euros to health and whatever goals that you have. And a lot of us have also the big goal, the goal to go free. And that's the goal that we're really going to focus on now. And I am banking on the fact that if we really go for that one big goal, it'll help us realize all the other ones. So we're going to take a look at that. So I want to just check in with you, and I want to hear how you did with the freedom exercise at the end of the workbook. So Eric.
Hi.
Yeah, so what did you find out?
Well, whenever I take a course like this, some sort of releasing course, usually I write down just because it helps me to release, I write down the goal of I allow myself to have a wonderful life partner with ease. But it's the more I look at it, it's just a technique or a way I have of digging deep on releasing. It's not even like I really am that much interested in it. If I happen to meet someone and everything seemed to click, I might do something about it, but it's not like I ever dwell on it and think to myself, I'm missing out on something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And that works for you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. I do want to mention, though, because a lot of times we do end up having these goals that we set because they sound good to us. But in our heart of hearts, we're really not that interested in it.
Yeah.
And then we're working on our goal and then wondering why we're not getting it. And we don't realize deep down we're not that interested in having it.
Yeah.
So we may run into this, and oftentimes what I really recommend is if you have a goal like this, especially like a goal that you're kind of struggling with, what you can do is just sit down and do attachments and aversions to having that goal. So what benefits, what drawbacks, what do I like about it, what do I not like about it, and cleaning it up on both sides, and that will help you get the clarity. But you're using it for that specific reason. Now, one thing that I would challenge you to do is, if you have a goal that you're just kind of playing with, using it for releasing, why not go all the way with it to prove that you can have it? Now, this might be tricky with the life partner because, you might end up with a life partner. If you're not that interested in it, then, it's like, well, what do I do with this person now? So,
Well, I'm afraid
use your judgment about that. But, you can release, and then, they'll go off and be interested in somebody else. So you can let them go. If you're not bothered by it, then that's okay. But truly, I do recommend proving these out, because then that way you don't have any garbage about it when you demonstrate it.
Okay. Yeah.
And you're taking Lester's approach. I only know what I can prove, right?
Right.
So I would challenge you to really, make a push and get serious about demonstrating your goals. So that way you're not just playing with it. You're really, releasing to demonstrate, to go all the way. So you prove that you're imperturbable.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, good. Great. Thanks for bringing that up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anybody else? Well, let's do a little bit of work with this here. What do you want more than freedom? Let's take a look at the biggest thing that you want. more than freedom? The number one thing. How about you, Dana?
Uh,
What do you want more than anything else? Your biggest desire?
I guess. Uh, I guess the thing that comes into my mind now is that I want. I don't want to lose my loved ones.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay.
It scares me.
Yeah. Okay, but look. Okay, so here's the thing. You see, it scares you,
Mhm.
right? Now, how does that fear help you in relation with your loved ones?
Of course, it doesn't help.
It doesn't, right? But what we're doing is we're holding on to that fear and we're blaming the loved ones, saying, well, if I let go of the fear, I might lose them. That's not true. That's ridiculous. So really you have nothing to lose here. We're not telling you to run away from your loved ones, go live in the mountains. We're saying, well, just let go of the fear. Let go of whatever want or desires there and see what happens. You can only get better, right?
Right. I think it's mostly about dying. I recently lost a family member, so I think it's mostly about dying, not like
Okay.
going on a mountain, So it's like losing them by death.
By them dying. Yeah.
Yes, by them.
Yeah. And look, you have no control over that anyway.
Of course, I don't, and this scares me.
Yeah. And so that fear is just a feeling.
Yes.
And by holding on to it, you're blocking yourself from going free. And what does freedom have to do with them dying or not dying?
Yes.
All right. So we're just examining how the mind works and how it tricks us into holding on to these ideas when we stop and discriminate and go, wait, that doesn't make sense at all.
Yes.
Why would I not go for freedom? Duh. Okay, so what is it that brings up? Is that wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting to be safe?
Control and safety.
All right. So just get clear. Make a decision that you want imperturbability now more than you want safety or anything else.
I must want imperturbability more than control or safety. Yes.
And are you willing to let go of that wanting so you can be imperturbable?
Yes.
All right. Now, could you let go of that wanting safety?
Yes.
Could you let go of that wanting safety a little bit more?
Yes.
And could you let go of that wanting safety a little bit more?
Yes.
And could you let go of that wanting safety a little bit more?
Yes.
And could you let it go a little bit more?
Yes.
And a little bit more? And could you let go of wanting safety a little bit more?
Yes.
And 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 which feels better, wanting safety or having safety?
Having safety.
Now, you can't do both at the same time. Can you want safety and have safety at the same time?
Not again.
And so that wanting safety is blocking the having.
Yes.
right? Could you let go of that wanting? And you're wanting it. You're doing that.
Yes.
You're totally in charge of that. It's your decision. Could you let go of that wanting?
Yes.
And could you let go of wanting safety?
Yes.
And get courageous. Just decide, I don't care. Even if I end up unsafe,
Even if they die.
yeah, even if I die and everybody else dies, wanting safety doesn't help me at all.
Yes.
So get courageous. I don't care. I don't care what happens. Could you let go of wanting safety?
Okay.
And could you let it go a little bit more?
Yes.
And could you let it go a little bit more?
Yes.
And could you let it go a little bit more?
Yes.
And a little bit more.
Yes.
And a little bit more.
Yes. I feel I have safety.
Yeah. See, even when you gave yourself permission to die, you're like, oh, I don't care if it happens. I'm letting this wanting go. You saw it wasn't even true. You are safe,
Yes, I am.
right? Now, can you let go of how you feel now and see if it can get even better?
Yeah.
And could you let go of how you feel right now? See if it can get even better. And what are you experiencing now?
I experience some sort of energy, like I'm empowered or something, like I'm very big, I'm expanded
Yeah. And see, where is that coming from?
from within.
Yeah. And look at how powerful you are. And that power has always been with you.
Yes, it was.
And you see all this other stuff, problems, was just a lie, just an illusion. And see, those problems always change. But notice this feeling, you've been here before when you've released before.
Yes.
And you come back to this place again and again and again and again and again. And it never changes. It's always this great. So now you're tapping into that which never changes. You're tapping into your own truth.
Yes.
So now, could you be willing to let go of your loved ones? Now, this might sound like a weird or scary idea. What if they never even existed? What if you just dreamed that these people are in your life? Now, just what if? I know, just bring up anything. You're like, just bring it up. It's just a lacking feeling coming up. Let it go. Bring it up and let it go. I'm not saying that that's true or not, but if it brings up a negative feeling, allow it to come up and let it go.
Okay.
See, again, it's a lacking feeling. Can you let that go so you can come from a place of having
Yes.
and more
Yes.
and more
Yes.
and more? And even more. And even more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And get a picture of these people, your loved ones. Just get a picture of them in your mind.
Okay.
And now just imagine that picture evaporating and dissolving. Just let that picture go. Let it dissolve away.
I feel a little resistance. I
Okay,
hang on
welcome
to
it
it.
up. Right? Measure that resistance. Let's just measure it on a scale of 0 to 10. Where are you with resistance?
It's 5, 4.
Okay,
I still want to hang on to them a little
I
bit.
know, but okay, so set that story aside now. You have a resistance. Is that a 4?
Yes.
Just look at that resistance.
Yes.
That resistance has nothing to do with nothing. It's just a bunch of nothing. It's a feeling. That's all.
Okay.
How does it help you with your loved ones, right? Okay, so it's just a feeling.
Yes.
Look right at it, say yes to it, so it can leave.
Yes.
And say yes to that resistance even more.
Yes.
And say yes to that resistance even more.
Yes.
And say yes to that resistance even more.
Yes.
And say yes to that resistance even more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And where are you now on 0 to 10 with resistance?
1.
Okay, 1. All right, look at that last little bit of resistance and say, I love you, resistance.
Sa'yo ba?
I love you.
Sa'yo ba?
I really, really love you.
Sa'yo ba?
I love you.
Sa'yo ba?
And I give you permission to leave.
Sa'yo ba? Yung nasa pledge.
Or stay as long as you like.
Stay as long as
I love you.
sa'yo ba?
And where are you now?
It's 0.
Okay. So look at that resistance now.
Okay.
It's gone, right?
Yes.
Now look at that picture.
Yes.
Can you let that be gone? Just
Yes.
evaporate and dissolve it now. It's just a picture in your mind. We're not kicking your loved ones out the door.
Yes.
Just in your mind now. Let that picture evaporate and dissolve. See what happens.
Okay.
And what are you experiencing now?
Peace.
Some peace?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, that's not so bad.
No, it's not.
All right. Now try this out. Get a picture of your loved ones again.
Okay.
Now look right at them and say, I am you.
Yes.
You are me. I am you.
Yes, and too.
You are me.
Yes,
I am you.
and too.
And just see it as you looking right back at you.
Yes, and too.
And how does that feel?
Very light.
Very nice?
Very light.
Light. Okay. Yeah. And see, that tells you something. Now, these are pretty far out things, and they're very, very scary to the ego. Wait a minute. Not only am I looking at letting go of my loved ones, but I'm looking at there's nobody else out there but me. Whoa, that's scary. You mean it's just me? I'm all alone? F that, right? And that's the ego. And while these are pretty far out ideas, we're not asking you to believe it, but you went there. You took some steps, you tried it for yourself, and it only got lighter, like really nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that tells you something. Now, what if you came from this position all the time? What if you like went through the world throughout your day and looking at everybody like they're you, looking right back at you? How harmonious would your life be if you treated everybody as though they were you?
Very nice.
Yeah. And see, now it's like Jesus talked about, this is a real way to practice loving your neighbor in a very real way. Not intellectually, but truly and authentically. And see, this is something we're going to get into tonight as we explore, well, how do we really make our goals just explode? And a big way that we can do this, so we can have a shift and just have an abundance of all of our goals, abundance of everything, is not coming from an attitude of taking. I want to take this goal, I want this goal, but an attitude of giving. Like, I don't want me to be a millionaire so much as I want all of us to be a millionaire. I want you to be a millionaire, you to be a millionaire, you to be a millionaire. No exclusion. And see, if you treat everybody like that, hey, you're worth it. What do you think that's going to do to your consciousness and your reality?
I can't.
And if you're interested in freedom, if you treat everybody, look at them as they were a master. Yep, even those people, you know, treat them like they're a master. What do you think that's going to do to your consciousness? And Lester said that if you really want freedom, you must want everybody else to be free. You cannot have it if you're holding that away from anybody else. And that's a good reason to take a look at pride and keep letting that go on a constant basis. Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you.
Great. Good work.
Thank you very much.
Hmm. Hey, Peter.
Hello, Kris.
Yeah. So you need some assistance in getting clarity with your goals? With one of
Yeah,
your
is there a, I mean, I know that there's the attachments and aversions, and that can sometimes put goals even for me if it's actually even my goal or somebody else's or some belief I have. But I'll set a goal and it sounds really great at first and I'll be releasing on it. And then I start thinking, well, maybe it'd be nice if the goal was this way instead. And so it starts to morph and I'm like, well, what goal am I releasing on, the original one or the morphed one, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Or some other goal will come up that's, I can't do both at the same time. So which is it? That kind of thing.
Okay, well, those are two different questions.
Okay.
First of all, it could be that your ego's playing with you, right? Oh, maybe it's not enough. Maybe I should be doing this, or maybe I should be doing that. See, in a way, it could be your ego jerking you around, right?
I'm known to do that.
It's been known to do that.
Yeah.
So really, the best approach with that is when you have these thoughts come up, well, what about this? What about that? Just treat it like it's another thought or feeling. It's my now thought or feeling.
Okay.
So just write that down on your goal sheet and release on it. Release on it first, just like that. Like it's just my now thought or feeling. You know, maybe I should shift it, or maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. Just write it down. It's just a thought. You see that as either one in approval, control, or safety, and let that go.
Okay.
Yeah, nice and easy.
Good.
And then after you release it, you might get some clarity and go, oh, yeah, let's do that. I would just do that.
Okay.
Just keep it simple. Right?
That's what I'll do.
Yeah. Now, the other thing that you had mentioned about, whoa, you know, so work on this goal or that goal. What I say is it doesn't matter which goal you work on. That's why when we went over how to word your goals, and I said, if you have a number of different goals, you don't want to wrap them all up in one big goal statement. You separate them out. And there's absolutely no problem with working on multiple goals. You could have 10 different goals. The thing is, you know, they have this saying, a rising tide lifts all ships, right? And the thing is that if you work on one goal, say you have a money goal, and you have a thought that comes up that says, that's impossible. I'll never get that. And then you have a health goal. And perhaps on that goal, the thought comes up, that's impossible. That'll never happen, right? It's the same thought. And if you look at the goals, you start to see you have the same limiting thoughts that come up everywhere. Right. How you do anything is how you do everything. So really, it doesn't matter which goal you work on. You can work on your money goal, you can work on this business goal, or a relationship goal, family goal. And you're knocking out those limitations in all of your goals. So I wouldn't worry about that.
So sometimes the goal, well, not exactly, because the goals are actually, like I'll set a goal, I want to move to Europe and study languages for a few years, and I'll be releasing that. And then another interest of mine comes up, and it's here, traveling to Europe wouldn't accommodate it, so I'd have to stay here and do something. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But see, that's
I
exactly.
won't say opposite goal, just
Well, you should show up for the next course for that, because that's exactly what we're
I
going to be focusing on. Because we do that. We have all of these conflicting things. Like, yeah, I want to move to Europe, but I also want to live on an island. Or, you know, I want to do this,
Yeah.
I want to do that. So they're at odds. And yeah, so we're going to work on that. So we are really in the position where we can go in either direction. I can go left, I can go right. It's all the same. And it's from that letting go that you get that clarity. It says, that's it. That's what I'm doing. And you get right behind it 100%. But in the meantime, yeah, what I would do is just take each option, you know, option A, option B, and do attachments and aversions to both of them. So you're, you know, really released on all options.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you see, really, all this stuff is just a bunch of noise in your mind.
Right.
So it's a bunch of noise going this way, that way. It's all noise. And like I said before, if we just keep it simple, I only have one job: clear the noise out of my head. That's it. Then I'll find my way.
Right.
Yeah. So focus on that.
Thank you.
Watch what happens. Yeah.
I will.
Yeah. Oh, so while I have you here, what do you want more than freedom? What do you really want? What are you holding on to?
It changes from moment to moment and then touches on all of those aspects. A super fit body, a super sexy, great relationship, to have so much money I can do anything I want whenever I want. So depending on it, it's what do I call it? Fickle. It just changes from moment to moment.
Well, let's just put it all together in one, like one big awesome lifestyle, like one big life accomplishment. This is what I've achieved with
and then I immediately feel resistant to that awesome lifestyle because I imagine how much maintenance and work it's going to take to upkeep it. And I don't want to do that. I want to live. So I actually said that in the chat that one of my issues is like I've been paring down my life, decluttering it, and not buying things. And I'm wondering, am I actually living a simpler life because that's where I'm headed and should be? Or am I living a simpler life because I don't want to engage with money, engage with things, and engage with experiences?
Yeah. So look, those are all questions in the mind. And you'll never figure that out in the mind. So we'll just start by releasing, putting one foot in front of the other and seeing where that takes us. We're just going to go down that road. All right. The road to clarity. So let's just focus on one goal: having a super fit body.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Now, right away, just when you think about that, what does that bring up, wanting wise? What want?
Approval.
Okay. Now that you can focus on that wanting approval, set the story aside. That wanting approval.
Okay.
Would you rather want approval? Or would you rather have approval? Which do you prefer?
I prefer having approval.
Okay. So we're really clear now. Okay. The story set aside, all I have is this lacking approval feeling that's going on. That didn't help me. So could you let go of that wanting approval now so you could have it?
Yes.
Could you let go of that wanting approval a little bit more?
Yes.
Could you let go of wanting approval a little bit more?
Yes.
And could you let go of wanting approval a little bit more?
Yes.
And a little bit more.
Yes.
And a little bit more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And which feels better, wanting approval or having it?
Having it.
Right? Could you let go of wanting it?
Yes.
And more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And how does that feel? Does it feel like you have it now?
It feels like I want it less.
Okay.
That's
All right.
Yeah.
And that wanting that is still there, is that a great feeling or is that kind of a feeling?
Yeah.
Okay. And you can eliminate it by letting go of the wanting. Could you let go of wanting approval?
Yes.
And could you let go of wanting
Yes.
approval some more?
Yes.
And some more.
Yes.
And some more.
Yes.
And some more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And does it feel like you have it now?
I feel neutral. I feel like I might or might not have it, but it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay. And could you let go of having your body matter so much?
Yes.
Now get a picture of your body, whatever that looks like to you right now. Close your eyes if you
All
want.
right. Yeah.
You just get that picture
Yeah.
and imagine that picture now evaporating and dissolving.
Okay.
And more.
Okay.
And even more.
Okay.
And let the whole thing disappear. Dissolve into nothing.
Okay.
What are you experiencing now?
Spaciousness.
Yeah, it feels nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe you don't
That's
need
cool.
the body. Maybe it isn't so important. But you could have it that way anyway, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
You want it to be healthy and fit and incredible. See if it's more possible now than it was a moment ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's very easy to just keep moving the right direction. Just keep it simple and practical.
Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you. All right. So I want to look at something. It's also at the end of the workbook. This is on page 113. And what this says is fast steps to freedom. And I mentioned before that if you really take on the right attitude, an attitude that aligns with love, with givingness, rather than what do I get out of it, that'll make all the difference. And having that attitude of, I want everybody else to be free. I want everybody else to show up, realize their mastership, realize all the abundance. Even if I don't get it, I wish it for others just as much as for myself. That'll help you realize it. So these, you'll see, they're very much in alignment with it. But what these are also here on page 113 is when Lester finally decided to transcend, he gave us, the rest of us, the releasers, some key practices so we can complete the job on our own. And that was a very important thing to Lester because he didn't want anybody to be dependent upon him. That's why he created the 6 steps, because you don't have to depend on a guru. The 6 steps is the guru. And when he left, he really did so to empower the rest of us. It's like, we got the method now. Now it's up to us to do it. And when he laid out these fast steps to freedom, each of these are keys that any of us can latch onto, just one of them. And just one of these will take us all the way to freedom. So let's go over these now. The first one here is to get everything only by releasing. And that's what we've been working on this course. We've been focusing on this, on conscious creation. And that's why I'd mentioned to Eric earlier that, yeah, even though you have some goals you just kind of play around with, you use them for releasing, get serious about it. You do it to demonstrate it, to prove it to yourself, so you can prove you have no limitation. You see, when you take on that attitude, I'm going to get everything by releasing only. That's going to get you to really step up, let go of the blocks, the limitations. And here's the thing, it's something that you can really play with. And it's not just for big goals. You could do this daily, just on small things. So, if you're in your business or your job and you have a project or a task to do, take on the goal of, I allow this project to be completed by releasing only. Or if you have like something you want to buy, like I want to buy a new jacket or something. Well, of course, I can just pull out my credit card or open up my wallet and buy it. That's easy enough. But what if, even though it's just a simple jacket, what if I could just release so I can have it by releasing only? Now, how powerful is that? To really take on that practice, just get everything by releasing only. pretty awesome. It's going to get you releasing all the time, right? On big things and little things. It's incredibly powerful. Now, the second one here, practice witnessing things more while releasing. And this is something that we've been working on here in this course. We've been working on looking at effort, where it is that we have effort and struggle in our life, and seeing wherever there's effort, there's ego and there's resistance, and letting that go. And we've been practicing just handing things over to beingness, letting go. And this is a practice that's very, very practical. And one more thing that we've been looking at a number of times on this course is letting go of this sense of doership, like what Ramana Maharshi had talked about, being not the doer. And so this will really let you practice this. And I'll share with you an experience that I had. I was once working with somebody that really didn't like me. And this person did everything possible to undermine me and really get me to get kicked out of this organization that we were together in. And whenever he came up to oppose me, to criticize me, to point out what I was doing wrong and badmouth me, I would either, run up and, defend myself, or run up and take action in some way that would undermine him. And I was using releasing. So because I was releasing, I would come out on top, even though, I would kind of do it in in an egotistic way. I would come out the winner. And that was fine, but the problem was I was having to do this again and again and again and again. It seemed like every week I was having to dodge this and handle this thing that he was doing. And then finally one day I just decided, you know what, enough's enough. I don't care what he says. I don't care how he tries to undermine me. I'm not going to take action to defend myself or take action against him. I'm just going to sit back and witness it. Do nothing but release. And see, that again, it puts you in a position where you got to release. So I was just releasing. I decided I'm not going to take any action. I'm not going to speak up for myself, do nothing. And what happened was amazing. He would come in to do something to oppose me, and somebody else would come in and intercept him, just totally derail him. And that just happened again and again, where I didn't have to do anything. Someone else did it for me. And then eventually the guy just disappeared. He booted himself out of the organization. So that was a huge lesson. And ever since then, it's been very easy to just let go of that sense of, I gotta defend myself, I gotta do this, and if I don't do it, it won't get done. And it's a very high state to just sit back and watch beingness take over and do nothing and just allow it to unfold. And as the Bible puts it, it's not I, but the Father who worketh through me. Beingness. And that really is the sense. Just watching, not doing anything. And what's developing is incredible. So that right there is something you could practice that'll take you all the way to freedom. Now, number 3, take responsibility for everything. And that's something that we've looked at in a number of ways. We looked at taking responsibility. We've taken a look at everything as my creation. The world is just a mirror of my own thinking. And if I want to oppose somebody, I want to oppose myself. If I want to stop somebody, I'm stopping myself. And we played a little bit with that today on the positive side, looking at everybody as you are me, I am you. And if you extrapolate that, not just with others, but with the whole world is me. It's my creation. It's my picture. Then that really puts you in the position to take responsibility for everything. And when you take responsibility for everything, even the bad stuff that happens, then that helps you to realize that everything is your picture. So it just works and it supports itself. And that will help you really realize mastership in a big way. Now, number 4, take all of your joy from within. And that's another thing that we've been working on throughout these 6 weeks. We started with this from day 1 when we were really examining wanting and how we're looking for happiness out there. All that wanting is looking for happiness. And we looked at that again today with what do I want more than freedom? The things that we're holding on to because we think that those loved ones make us happy. And it's not about, setting them on fire and throwing them off of a cliff, but it's just shifting our focus. Sure, they can be there. I can love them. But I'm going to take all of my happiness from within. And that's hugely powerful. Now, number 5, be all giving. Now, this doesn't mean emptying out your pockets, giving to charity, giving people food, or anything like that. It's not charity. In fact, in a way, charity's hurting someone. It's saying, you can't do it. You need me to give you something. It's really putting them down. And that's why I think, everyone has a really, can have a bad opinion of the United States because they kind of come from that position. Hey, we got to take care of the world. We got to give all these charities and be the do-gooders and all that stuff. And everybody wants to kill them. But here's the difference. It's not actually giving something, it's the attitude. And what's the greatest thing you can give? Love. And we touched upon that this evening with that attitude of givingness, like seeing everybody else as free. And notice what you experienced when you did that. When you gave everybody else the permission and the right to be a master, to be abundant, to be happy. And what does that bring back to you? You see, it just reflects right back on you. Now, finally, number 6, be yourself. Now, this sounds kind of cheesy, maybe a little corny, but it's true. And we have all experienced this right now. If you just get nice and quiet and say to yourself, I, 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 I. And notice I does not need a story, does not need a body, does not need anything, does not need a world. It just is. It's happy just being. It needs nothing. And we've experienced this when we've gotten a picture of that body and let that evaporate and dissolve. We got a picture of our personality, our story. Let that evaporate and dissolve. And even get a picture of the world. So right now, just get a picture of the world, the whole world that you're in right now. And could you allow that to evaporate and dissolve? Just a picture in your mind. Allow that picture to evaporate and dissolve. And let the world evaporate and dissolve. And even more. 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 And just let everything go quiet. Let everything disappear. And be one with nothing. And notice, as much as you let the mind, the body, the world disappear, you don't disappear. You still are. You are. That'll never go away. Ever. Ever. So how about just being yourself? Without all these nonsense stories. Without everything that's false. Going right back to the beginning of this session. Looking at what's true. You're looking at it. Be yourself. That'll take you all the way to freedom. So as we conclude here, I just wanted to point these out for you and give you the challenge. Take one of these here. Pick one that really resonates with you, that you can do, and use it every day. Every day. And watch what happens. All right? All right. So I'll see y'all later. I'll see you on the next couple of videos, and we'll be in touch. Thank you, everybody. It's been a great class. And congratulations.